Balkan and Violin, Life of Post-COVID-19, Rethinking the Concept of Karmak's Court. Hello from our side, we are students from Vienna University of Technology. My name is Simona Andjela and I speak on behalf of my team, whose members are Anđela Kovačević and Milana Vasić. Our guiding professor is Mladen Jadrić. Thanks to our tutors and their constructive feedback, we have developed furthermore our project proposal. We would like to further introduce you to our developed project proposal, which is dealing with one very important building in Vienna, its landmark Karmak's Court. In the following slides, I will just shortly explain the historical background of Karmak's Court, as we have done this in detail in the first ambition. The geographical position of Karmak's Court. The following slide shows the geographical position of Karmak's Court. This is the site plan of Vienna. The next diagram shows a close-up view. Karmak's Court is situated in Heiligenstadt, a neighborhood in the 19th district of Vienna. The third diagram shows its position. Next to it there is a tram station. It spans 4 tram stations due to the building length of 1 kilometer. This figure ground map shows the traffic position in relation to the court and Danube. Here we can see in the detail the bicycle route, the tram line, the bus stops, and the river Danube on the right side. We can feel the huge scale of this complex as well. The historical background. We would like to briefly introduce you to the historical background of the Karmak's Court, which was as well in details explained in the first ambition. It is one of the best known Gemeindebauten, municipal housing complexes. It is one of the longest single residential buildings in the world. It was built between 1927 and 1930 by city planner Karl Ahn, and it was designed as an example of superblock. It had symbol character, and it was named after philosopher Karl Marx, theorist and philosopher of communism. It held 1,382 apartments, and only 18.5% was built up, and the rest area was green space and courtyard. The premises include also many community facilities, and all of this makes it a very important building in Vienna. However, although the complex was primarily designed according to the needs of inhabitants, the time changes and we have noticed few disadvantages when it comes to dealing with new parameters. So we have tried to identify the problems and awareness of current condition after COVID-19 pandemic. The problems are: the initial design of the building did not foresee balconies for everybody, deficiency of balconies and terraces and therefore natural ventilation, small windows, so natural light due to the small windows due to the construction of the terrace, then insufficient staircase, problems with insufficient staircase, which does not allow to keeping the social distance due to its initial design and insufficient width, then small apartments in comparison of big families, lack of rooftops due to the design of the building, and lack of social activities. We made as well SWOT analysis, and SWOT is S stands for strengths, which is big green areas. We see as a huge weakness its linear way of movement. We see as a big opportunity the interaction place between the building and the courtyard as a social meeting point, and we see maintaining social distance measures as a big threat for the complex because there are not sufficient interventions and parameters for that in the current design. We have also tried to identify the biggest potential of the complex. The following diagram shows great potential for green space. As already mentioned in the historical background, the 81.5% or 156,000 square meters of Karmak's Hof was left open. The courtyard was with green spaces for residents to enjoy, especially for youngsters. This point is very important for our concept, as we want to rethink the usage of the courtyard, but as well as the internal organization of the building as well. So the question remains is how to find a new sustainable strategy for this complex of buildings, taking into account both the courtyard as well as the inside of the building. So our conceptual program, we have noticed the big advantage of having such a big courtyard that allows many interventions and can be connected with the internal organization of the building. So we would like to propose several spatial interventions for both outside and inside of the complex. We want to propose design proposals in accordance with new parameters and safety measures. We want to think in the future when we want to adapt this building without destroying its important architectural heritage. We want to strengthen the sense of the belonging and identity of the community as well as the initial concept of the building. So we have defined our goals, pros and cons, and vision. We want to raise awareness. We want to strengthen the sense of belonging and identity. We want to maintain social life, to propose spatial interventions and to design with new parameters, to adapt to the new realities, and to rethink the outdoor space and the internal organization of the whole complex. However, we have both pros and cons for these interventions. So we want to revitalize the space, but there is a fear of gentrification. We want to revive the outdoor space, but there is a possibility of infection. We want to maintain social activities, but then still there is a privacy disturbance. And we want to develop the complex for the future, but then it can be also too drastic. However, our vision is for Karl Court to be integrated, vibrant, active, protected, and maintained, and therefore as well to be ready for the future development. So our vision in the future, Karl Court will become an adapted, integrated, vibrating area with various social activities for both residents and people of Vienna with predetermined social distance measures. So this is our vision. In the future, we can see here the image of our project proposal. Our vision is to, and the main goal is to create an interactive place between the building and the courtyard, having in mind the whole COVID-19 measures. I will go now in details with our concept for both the courtyard and the internal organization of the building. So first I want to talk about the courtyard. Let's start with that. So we have defined two types of the spaces, semi-public space and the public space of the complex. Depending on the spatial division, different functions are distributed in the Karl Marx Court. The middle part of the court includes public gatherings such as cafes, cultural events, picnics. Semi-public space are more intended for residents and therefore for functions as urban gathering, farming, outdoor activities, children playgrounds. So this is the functional program. It allows diverse program functions, and it strengthens the sense of belonging and identity of the community. So according to the social distance measures, these spatial interventions will increase the social interaction within the people, especially its residents. Urban gathering and farming are good for mental health. In addition to producing food, it gives more freedom for a daily routine. Visual guidelines for social distancing on the outer space will raise awareness and encourage people to feel more related to nature and etc. So we can see it will encourage people to turn more to a healthier lifestyle by spending time outside doing different activities. On the following slide, you can see the detailed plan and the position of the discussed activities. And then now the second part, we want to talk about the internal organization analysis and the internal organization of the complex. As already discussed, the complex is 1 kilometer long, so we have tried to understand the anatomy of the complex itself, and we try to focus ourselves on the main part of the building, which is the central part of it. So, the problems. We see as a problem of each building of this complex its vertical staircase, which is repetitive, and it does not foresee, due to the initial design of the building, it does not foresee keeping the social distance. So this is a big problem of the complex. There is a threat of contagion of the infection, which is why we want to rethink it. So we have one design solution. We have defined the addition of the external fire staircase in front of the buildings. So We have designed a temporary external addition to the complex, which will solve the problems with the staircase. It is designed for two-sided direction, and it connects the courtyard and the terraces of the residence. Our vision and main goal is to create an interactive place between the courtyard and between the building. So an additional external staircase would allow residents to meet outdoors. The priority would be nature, light greenery. The green spaces prove beneficial to building occupants, and even the building itself stands to benefit. Plants reduce energy usage, plants refresh the space, even can provide fresh vegetables for the residents. So here we can see the ground floor of this central part of the complex and its external temporary fire staircase, which has as well multi-purpose function. This is the upper floor of the central part of the complex, and this is the elevation where we can see how this fire staircase will improve the organization of the building. Here we can see design proposal for the terraces. We want to make the terraces green. We want to revive the complex. We want to renovate it. And this is the detail of the terraces, and we want to connect it with the proposed external staircase. So we want to create a vibrated and integrated complex with new ideas for improvement of the residents, for their life and for their social life, and as well for their quality of their life in the complex. This is the scenario. So the values will change, our lives and habits will change, and our homes will also change under that influence. With that in mind, we propose these temporary interventions for both courtyard and both internal organization of the building to maintain and keep the social life going on after the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for your attention.